This video is why I always tell you guys to never give up during races. Don't rage quit. You don't learn anything that way. What's up, guys? It is Rodak here with Rodak Survival, and this race that I'm about to show you is Moto 1 from a series that I did, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember what series it was, but there are some unfortunate things coming into this race. I signed up for the race while I was still at work, but then I ended up having to work late, so I got home like right before qualifying started. I didn't have the track downloaded, so I jumped in, had to learn the track in qualifying, and now here we are in Moto number 1. But the problem was, while I was trying to find an old setup that worked, I didn't select the setup for dry race or dry qualifying. So when the lobby went from the practice session to the race session, it actually set my setup back to default. And in that 10-minute practice time, that's just everybody joining. You're not allowed to ride the track. So I didn't know and I didn't pay attention, and that's just on me. I forgot to change it. So going into the race, I already don't know the race lines very well, and I am on a stock setup. So how can we do? Alrighty, guys, so here we are for Moto number 1, and like I said, coming into this, I don't really know the race lines. I think I qualified somewhere in like the mid-teens, but yeah, on a stock setup, don't know the lines very well. We just gotta hope to get off to a good start. So we get off to an okay jump right here, but then everybody squeezes together. So I just hit the brakes and I'm like, all right, you know what? Everybody, this is gonna be carnage in this first corner. Let's just try to get through it. And we actually come out really well in this first corner. And going into the second corner, it all falls apart. This guy gets over the rut. He comes into me. I go down. I try to get out. I get hit again. We're still down. Can't get the bike reset. I'm trying to get up the hill. I get hit again, and then I get turned around. Still trying to get up the hill, and then these guys are gonna run into each other, which causes his bike to be there. So now we're just stuck here together, and we are in dead last. Already so far behind the 8th ball, like I said, coming in without a setup and everything, and now we're gonna have to come from last. But like I said, the title of this video is don't ever give up during the races. You never know what'll happen. So you can see right there, I'm not really able to hit the corners, and my bike is bouncing around everywhere going into ruts and stuff, and that's just because that default setup is on there. So we've already made some decent passes. I think we were in like 33rd, and we're already up to 21st after the first lap. So I'm like, all right, just try to keep this going. Now, right there is where I kind of realized, I thought something fell off from qualifying, but right there is where I kind of realized that I don't think that I have a setup on and it's on default, because if I had the right gearing and everything that I normally would like to run, I would have made that double no problem. But I was coming up short on stuff, and coming into these corners, I was like going over ruts and stuff like that, and that just wasn't happening in qualifying. So right there is where I kind of realized that I think I have a default setup on, and I'm gonna have to try to make this work. Now you can see that I'm still riding like a little bit conservative right here, because now I realize that I have a default setup on and the bike isn't handling the way I want it to, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable. And I'm just trying to like manage the race, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to push it. I'm just trying to not go down. I'm gonna let this guy have this inside right here, because I don't know, it seemed like I had a bad feeling about that guy, but I just let him go by right there. But I'm trying to just manage as best as I can. But you're gonna see a moment come to where I just like, all right, throw all management out the window. I am just going to go for it. So right here, those two guys distracted me and I hit that freaking tough block and I go down, but then watch this. I try to get up the jump and then I get stuck right here and I start sliding backwards. And now it's like everything gets thrown out the window, because I'm like, what do I have to lose? I already lost all that time that I made up. I'm gonna lose a ton of more time right there. So, you know, what do I have to lose? I'm already in like the 20th position now, in the 20s. So like the worst I can get is I just lose a few more spots. So let's just hang it all out. You can see from the lap before to this lap now, I am flying down these hills instead of just barely creeping down them. Yeah, I'm making some mistakes, but I'm frustrated at this point, and I just want to try to get the best position that I can, because I know that I shouldn't be back here. Then I'm unfortunately gonna go down. That's the suspension right there. It did not soak up that freaking bump, and it just took my front wheel out, and then I got the cartwheel crashes, so it took me forever to get up, but we're still not giving up at this point. We are in 14th place. We were in 13th. These guys passed me, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but when we went over the finish line that last time, it's kind of like a split, it's kind of like a back and forth section, and I saw there was a whole group of guys there, so in my head, I'm like, I am going to either fall back a bunch of positions by just hanging it all out and going for the top 10, or I'm gonna get that top 10. That guy's gonna go down right there. We got our 13th place back. Now look over here to the right. You can still see there's a group of guys there. There's 2 guys there, and there's a guy in front of me and another guy over there. So we can definitely make this top 10 happen. He's gonna go down, so that's gonna give us 12th. Now I can see that top 10 is right there in front of me, and I'm not giving it up now. I worked way too hard to get here. Both of those guys are going to go down. That is going to put us into that top 10, but I see another position right in front of me. Let's go get that one. Lapper almost kills me there. I would have been so pissed if that lapper that just would have taken me out. He's going to go down right there. That is going to put us in the 9th. Then I make a huge mistake right there, and I'm like, I gave the position right back. Someone's gonna go down right there. I know we couldn't see it, but I am now in 9th place and I have 8th right in front of me. It's the last lap. Let's go get it. He's gonna go down right there. That's gonna give us 8th. Now we are coming across the line in 8th place, but if you look down there, I end up getting 9th just because of some of the cuts that I have. I ended up getting 9th by like 0.5 of a second, so that's unfortunate, but we worked our way all the way back. And like I always say, guys, if you take anything from these videos, do not quit in races. You don't learn anything that way, because yeah, this race could have gone better for me, and the beginning of this race was absolutely terrible, but I learned so much stuff and gained so much confidence from this race, because it really showed me that yeah, a setup really does help, but if you can stay consistent at this game, you don't always have to be the fastest, but if you can stay consistent and learn how to manage the bike and learn how to manage it just even without a setup, then I'll be even better with a setup. But do not give up in races. You saw me come from like 35th all the way back to 9th in this race in a 20-minute race. So yeah, guys, like I said, just don't quit. Just try to stick it out and see where you can get, because you never know. I felt more confident going into the second moto than I did the first moto. Even though I was frustrated, I felt like that was a great ride for me. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button if you can. Hit that subscribe button as well, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.